Now, despite the fact that we're all thrilled about this and that we see building going on up and down the beach here, all the way around town, seeing things get back to shape, we know we have a lot more work to do. And I know there's lots of families who still don't have done what they need to have done for their homes. And so let me tell you a few things, and for businesses too, that are available to you. As we speak right now, if you're a business that was affected by Sandy, you can call right now, 1-855-SANDY-BZ, 1-855-SANDY-BZ, and they will walk you through the application process for rebuilding grants through the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, up to $50,000 in grants to businesses that were affected by Sandy. You'll have an individual caseworker that'll work you right through that entire process and make sure that if you're entitled to a grant that you get one, and you get one as soon as possible, so that if your business is not reopened, we can get it reopened, and if it is, we can get it hiring more people and ready for the influx of tourists this summer. And if you're a homeowner who needs to rebuild, to renovate, or to elevate your home, this Friday, the grants will begin to be available for homeowners, up to $150,000 grants that you can apply for to help to renovate, rebuild, or elevate your homes. We'll have that website up and running on Friday for you to begin your application process, so that as we go into the summer, you can begin to have your homes rebuilt. And so, the mayor mentioned that we had a little tough time in the beginning, getting Congress and the president to pay attention to what we needed here. As he mentioned, in the first 10 days after Katrina, they were given billions of dollars by a voice vote in Congress. It took nearly 100 days for us to get the Congress to approve the bill proposed by the president. We had to fight hard to get it. We had to fight Republicans and Democrats to get it. But we did, and now it's ready to start coming to New Jersey and bringing the resources that we need to completely rebuild our shore area and the other affected areas around our state. So I know it's been a long time coming. That's why I was yelling and screaming at the beginning, because I knew that every day they delayed on the front end were days that would be tacked on to the back end. But because we've all worked hard together and spoken out, our congressional delegation has worked together in a bipartisan way. We had the mayors and the freeholders here in Ocean County working really strongly together along with the state. That day is now coming, and I'm thrilled to see homeowners already starting to rebuild, and we're going to help get you some more money to help you rebuild and rebuild even more quickly, so that while this summer, the mayor told me we're at about 75% occupancy for the summer rental season, we'll be over 100% by next summer, and so we're going to make this happen. I want to also let all of you know that we're going to continue to be careful stewards of this money as well. And make sure, whenever this kind of money is floating around any place, you're going to have folks who are going to try to take advantage of it. And so we have inspectors and auditors and integrity monitors that are looking over all of these programs to try to make sure that the unscrupulous folks, the folks who don't need help or will try to take some help that they don't deserve, won't benefit from this either. And the more we keep that away from New Jersey, the more money there'll be for those people who really do need it, the businesses and the homeowners and the renters who really need help in getting themselves back on their feet. So this is going to be a really good week. We'll be traveling. I'll be traveling up and down the Jersey Shore during the week. Mary Pat and the kids will join me on Friday, and we'll be traveling up and down the shore on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Going to boardwalks and beaches all up and down the Jersey Shore, from south as Wildwood to up north in Keensburg and every place in between. We'll be going to all those places to do what the mayor asked me to do. So I'm glad you came here today, so that all the news media covers this and people will know that Lavallette is open for business. And that's what we're going to do. And me and Mary Pat and the children will be staying down at Island Beach this weekend. So you'll probably see us in Lenny's at Lavallette at some point. Seem to make our way there at least once every weekend that we're here. We love it, but it's especially where the kids like to go, so you'll see us there at some point over the weekend, I'm sure. And we're thrilled that we're going to be able to be back and be customers here in Lavallette for all the great businesses and folks who live here and work here. And so I want to thank the mayor once again for his incredible leadership through all this. It is not easy to be the mayor of a town that's been devastated like this, and he's done a great job. Now, even though this looks like it could be a town hall meeting, it is not a town hall meeting. But I do have members of the press here who want to ask some questions. So I'll take some questions from the press, just a few. Then we have some work we have to do to finish the final nailing in here of the boards here on the boardwalk, and then moving on to the next stop along the Jersey Shore. So, Brian, that's why we've set up an insurance mediation program. And we've been advertising it, and I'll talk about it again. You go to the Department of Banking and Insurance. There's a mediation program. If you have a dispute with your insurance company about the amount that you're being paid, you can take that to mediation. And all the insurance companies in New Jersey have agreed to participate in the mediation program. So we have mediators that are ready to go, that are working cases right now. And so people shouldn't just be content. If they have a dispute with their insurance company, they have legal avenues available to them, both through the mediation program run by the state and then ultimately through the courts. And so no one should accept something that they believe is unfair. That's the first thing. Second, there's never going to be enough money, Brian, to repair all the damage. We had about $37 billion in damage. We'll wind up getting somewhere between 20 and $25 billion of federal aid. So you can see there's a delta there. That is not going to be, there's not going to be money to replace every nickel of damage with federal funds. But we hope between the combination of federal money, state money that we're putting in, and also insurance money, that we'll be able to get very, very close to it. But you're never going to get it 100%. The aid package wasn't a 100% aid package, and they never really are. So we've sustained a lot of damage, but we're going to have a lot of money here to be able to help folks. And I think most folks are going to wind up back on their feet very nicely. The nature of the Jersey Shore and the folks who are able to rebuild and the folks who have to sell. Listen, part of the reason why I fought as hard for the federal aid that we've gotten is to try to do as best we can to not change the character of the shore in terms of the folks who are here. And that's going to be tougher in some communities as opposed to others. But, you know, when most people have available to them a $150,000 grant, if you're talking about homes that are truly kind of middle-class summer homes, that's going to go a long way towards helping to rebuild those homes or renovate them. It's not going to solve every problem. And there will be some people who will conclude that they're going to have to sell. I understand that. But I don't think we're going to see the widespread selling of homes across the shore because people don't have the money to rebuild. I think between cooperation with the banks, the insurance companies, and the federal aid and state grants that we're giving, that most people are going to be able to find a way to do it. But again, you know, people all come into this situation differently situated personally. How much debt did they have coming in? And what's their own personal financial situation? We can't be there to fix every problem, but we're going to be there to try to deal with most of them. No, the grants are not open to second homeowners. And that was a decision that the President and the Congress made. I fought to have them open to second homeowners. The President and Congress did not want to give grants to anybody but primary homeowners. I made the argument to the President at the time that a lot of folks who have second homes are the folks that you were referencing in your question. Folks who are from middle-class backgrounds in New Jersey, some of whom had the homes passed from generation to generation to them, some of whom rented out for a good part of the summer to help pay for the cost of the home, but then are able to have it for themselves for a couple of weeks. But in the end, the President and the Congress decided, despite the arguments that I made and Governor Cuomo made, that they didn't want to cover second homeowners. And so for those folks, that's a big problem, but there's nothing I can do about that. The best I could do was ask and fight for it. I tried, but the President and Congress didn't see it that way. I think OLS is dead wrong. I mean, we're $800 million apart on our projections, and if you look at over the course of time, he was pessimistic about the gross income tax this year. It's overperformed significantly, even overperformed our original projections, and that makes up 40% of our revenue. So I just, I don't know, candidly, whether he's just lost it or whether, or whether he's just playing politics. But the fact is, he's dead wrong. He's been dead wrong before. Our projections in the main have been more responsible over the last 3 years and more accurate than OLS's have been. And so the Treasurer is going to testify this afternoon. And because of the energy tax shortfall, he's going to bring our numbers down a little bit. I think about $150 million. But there's two major reasons for that. One was bad, one is good on the energy taxes. The first one that's good is that energy prices are lower. And essentially these energy taxes are sales tax on energy. Natural gas prices are down. As a result, electric prices are down and heating prices are down. And so when the prices are lower, you're going to get less of a sales tax on it. Second reason, not as good, was, remember, we had in big parts of the state people who went anywhere from 20 to 90 days without power. Well, when homeowners aren't paying for electricity and aren't paying for heat, then they don't pay sales tax on that. And as a result, our revenue went down as well. So one is Sandy related, clearly from people not having power for a long period of time, so they paid less in the energy sales taxes. And the other is because we're seeing a natural gas renaissance in the country because of shale gas. It's bringing the level of the price level down, and that's also brought it down. So that's kind of impossible to project. And so the Treasury's going to bring down the numbers about $150 million today between the remainder of this year and next year. But Dr. Rosen's projections of $900 million are either the results of him not knowing what he's doing, or they're pure politics, one or the other, and either one won't affect the people of New Jersey because I won't let it. That didn't have a lot of detail. And the fact is that his projections for the gross income tax this year have already been demonstrably wrong. Demonstrably wrong. We're $400 million over where we said we were going to be. So he's been demonstrably wrong already, but apparently he's doubling down on being wrong. So good for him. Now I'm going to let the folks in Ocean County make the decision at the polls. It's close enough to the election where there's an acting sheriff in place who's one of the undersheriffs. And plus, candidly, I don't know that the Senate will be confirming anybody between now and then anyway. So, we've got 40 days left of the legislative session. As you can tell, if you've been watching Trenton at all, nominations aren't moving at a swift pace. So, the fact is, we got an election in November. Let the folks elect their sheriff in November, and when they do, then the sheriff will be put into place immediately thereafter. We're always worrying about how appropriate it is for an elected official to comment upon the judiciary. Seems pretty clear to me that Justice Albin's comments, while I don't mind them at all, he can say, as far as I'm concerned, whatever he wants to say. He can be as wrong as loudly as he wants to be. But it's interesting that they pick and choose when it's appropriate for them to be speaking out on things, and they get to be judge and jury on that. It's very interesting. But, listen, Justice Albin, went down to the Bar Association and played to the cheap seats like the grandstander that he is. So he can do what he wants to do. Yes. Well, first of all, I don't agree with the premise of your question because I don't think that there's been any proof thus far that Sandy was caused by climate change. But I would absolutely expect that that's exactly what WNYC would say, because liberal public radio always has an agenda. And so, since I disagree with the premise of your question, I don't feel like I have to answer the rest of it. Anything else? Yeah, Max? I don't see any implications for the governor's contest. This the Jersey City mayor's race. The fact is the people of Jersey City decided to make a change. And I don't know what the implications of that are. I wish Mayor-elect Phillip the best. I've known Steve for 4 years. A very bright guy, hardworking guy, and he won a tough, hard-fought election, and he's got a big job ahead of him. And so I wish him the best of luck. The state will be there to help Jersey City as we always have been. And I wish him the best. And I don't think it has any implications on the governor's race at all, Max. I don't see how it could.